Okay, so today is the 18th, so 12/18, and we're talking about notes on unit, circle, trig. Okay, I've got some notes for today and some notes for tomorrow. Unit, circle, trig. Okay. So, I want you guys to make sure you write this down. Sine is abbreviated as SIN, but we don't ever call it sin, we always say sine. Okay? Sine is always the opposite over the hypotenuse. Yep. 10. Is that spelled something like that? Probably not. Okay. Opposite and hypotenuse. Okay, when we look at the unit circle, all of the unit circles, so let's put this up here. See how we have this triangle here in green? Yes. Okay. We're always talking about this angle right here in the unit circle, that's 30 degrees. So always the opposite to it is the length of y. So, just like you did on your homework, it is y over 1 because the hypotenuse in all of the unit circles are 1. Yes? Okay. Then we're going to talk about cosine. We shorten it to COS, but I almost never call it cos, I call it cosine. Okay? And that is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. I'm just going to abbreviate to HYP because I'm pretty sure I spelled hypotenuse incorrectly there. Okay. We all have our skills. Spelling is not mine. Okay. All right. And in the unit circle, it's x over 1. Okay. So, real quick, let's just answer a couple questions on this. If I said sine of 270, what would my answer be? Find 270. What's the sine of 270? Anybody? What is it? Negative 1. So I went to my unit circle, I went to 270, and I went down, and I got negative 1 as the y value. All right, what about the sine of 150? What is it? 1/2. Okay, let's do 2 cosines and then we'll move on to some tangents. I just want to make sure, because I just went over the answers to the homework, but I didn't hear your guys' answers to them. What's the cosine of 90? 0. Good. And what is the cosine of 300? 1/2. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to move on to tangents. When we talk about tangent, we're talking about the opposite over the adjacent. Okay? Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Can somebody pull the door closed? Maybe that would stop some of the emotions. Q, thank you so much. Okay. So when we're talking about the unit circle, my opposite happens to be y and my adjacent is x, right? So we're going to say y over x. Tan, which is the same thing as tangent, is opposite over adjacent, y over x. Okay. These are not as straightforward, but we are going to do them. We're going to do tan of 30 degrees. So, going to go to your unit circle. Remember, you can use this on your quiz. So, what is the opposite or the y value at 30 degrees? 1/2. What is the adjacent or the x value at 30? Okay, we get square root 3 over 2. Okay, so we got this crazy fraction. So we're going to go ahead and solve this crazy fraction, but then I'm going to give you like shortcuts that you can put on your unit circle, okay? So you don't have to do this whole algebra every single time, all right? So we're going to go 1/2 times 2 over square root 3. So I don't know if you guys remember this, but when we are dividing by fractions, you flip the second one, right? And multiply straight across. Okay? 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times square root 3 is 2 square root 2, right? 2 square root 3, excuse me. What's 2 over 2 reduced to? 1. So we get, I'm going a little fast, aren't I? Okay. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times the square root of 3 is 2 square root 3. So far, so good? Okay. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I get 1 square root 3. Can I have a square root on the bottom? No. So what do we do to it? Multiply square root of 3 on the top and bottom, and we get square root 3 over, what's 3 times 3? What's the square root of 9? 3. So the answer to this is square root 3 over 3. Okay, so it was quite a bit of work for each time, but again, I'm going to give you a shortcut, like when 1/2's on top and square root 3 over 2 is on the bottom, this is what you get. Okay, let's do the tangent of 45. Okay, everybody's got their unit circle out in front of them? You should. What is the y value at 45 degrees? Square root 2 over 2, and what's the x value? What's square root 2 over 2 over square root 2 over 2? Try again. What's 2 divided by 2? So what's square root 2 over 2 divided by square root 2 over 2? Okay, hold on. No, I didn't. Somebody said a different answer. Okay, 2 divided by 2 is, so square root 2 over 2 divided by square root 2 over 2 is 1. Do you get that anything divided by itself is 1? It's like this bottom part fits in the top part one time, because there's only one of them. Okay. Let's do tan of 60 degrees. So you guys tell me, what is the y value at 60 degrees? What is the x value at 60 degrees? Okay, so I'm going to go square root 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. What do I end up with? Okay, we'll just do this all out. There's a canceling thing you can do to make it shorter, but that's fine. We don't have to do it. 2 square root 3 over 2 times 1 is 2. 2 divided by 2 gives me? 1. So we get just square root 3 is my answer. Yes? You always flip the one on the bottom over and then multiply straight across whenever we deal with fractions. Okay, so now I want to do a couple more just for practice where you have negatives in there. But before we do that, I would love it if you pull out your unit circle. And we're going to write these down so you don't have to solve it like this every single time. Okay, I'm going to cover this up. I'm waiting. Okay. So see my whole unit circle right here? All right. Right down here at the bottom is where I'm going to put 3 things. I'm going to draw a little thing. I'm going to divide it into 3 spots. Leave space because we may be adding more. Okay. If we have 1/2 over square root 3 over 2, we get what? We already did this. Yeah, I sure can. Square root 3 over 3. I can zoom in even more. Okay. If we get square root 2 over 2 divided by square root 2 over 2, be nice to each other, we get what? Okay. And if we have square root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2, we get what? We get square root 3. What do you think? Can you guys follow that? If you see one of those fractions on your paper, can you just go look at this paper and write it down? Okay, that should make it pretty easy. I'm hoping you can use this part on a test or quiz, but I'm not guaranteeing it.
What's your average on a quiz and a test for
This class, I can look it up in a second. I don't know off the top of my head.
If it's low, then don't do it.
The top one is square root 3 over 3. The middle one is 1. And the bottom is square root 3. Okay, I would like to do 3 more practice problems before I give you your homework, just so I feel real comfortable that you can do this. This is square root 2 over 2, square root 2 over 2 equals 1. Square root 3 over 2 over 1/2 equals square root 3. Okay. Nick, is there a reason you're not writing this down? You should be writing all this down. You notice everybody else is? That's what Nick should be doing too. I can give you my notes when I'm done, but you need to copy it down. Okay. I can give you my notes when I'm done, but you'll need to copy it down. All right. We're looking right here. We're going to do tan of 300 degrees. Okay. What is the y value at 300? There sure is. It's right after 270. It's the next one after 270. Negative square root 3 over 2. Shh. And what's the x value? 1/2. So I'm going to look at my paper. Now the difference is, from my other ones, is this is a negative divided by a positive. So my answer is going to be what? Negative. Positive or negative? Negative. Okay. Now I'm looking at my paper. I have square root 3 over 2 over 1/2. What's that answer? Look at it. Look at it on our paper. Negative square root 3. No, you have the opposite one. Look below. You should have square root 3 over 2 on top, 1/2 on the bottom. Should just be square root 3. So that's how we got negative square root 3. Right. Correct. That is if 1/2 is on the top. Okay. We're going to do tan of negative, oh, no, we won't do that yet. How about one more? Tan of 225. What's the tangent of 225? It is 1. I'm going to do the work. That was perfect, though. Negative square root 2 over 2 divided by negative square root 2 over 2 gives us 1. So I do want you to watch those negatives and positives. Okay? All right. Everybody's good? You can do your homework. You can do your wish you knew sheets.